What's up, guys? How's it going? Thank you guys for watching the stream and joining in on this fun Tuesday. And today's a big day. We finally are launching kitbash3d.com. So if you guys were on the stream last week, I showed you guys a little teaser, sneak peek. And this week I'm going to show you guys a lot more. And I'm also joined by my buddy Chris Gaucho, as we call him, and he's one of my partners in Kitbash. So we're going to both be kind of running through this and chatting.
How's everybody doing? So stoked to be here. Thank you for having me.
Cool. Well, before we get going, let's. I'm going to play the trailer for you guys, just in case you missed it last week. So yeah, guys,
concept painters, map painters.
That's Kitbash, and yeah, the website is live right now, which is super exciting. We've been working on this thing for months and months, and now you can go to kitbash3d.com and check out the different kits, and the trailer and some videos and such. Yeah, but today what I wanted to do, rather than just post the trailer and stuff like that, I wanted to be on this stream to kind of actually show what the actual kits look like and chat with you guys and talk about questions and hear what your guys' thoughts are, and what themes and genres that you guys want to see coming up also. Right now we're launching with 4. We have Gothic, Art Deco, Arabic, and Neo Tokyo. But I'm hoping that this gets the juices flowing and starts to generate a lot of ideas of other kits you guys might want to see.
Yeah, so just let us know whatever you guys are thinking or feeling in the comment section, and I'll direct it all towards Maxx. And Forest Lamb, we would love to take your money. So just more.
Yeah. So Chris, what's your favorite kit?
I will be posting the link right now for you. Ridvan, I'm going to butcher your name. I just apologize in advance. My favorite kit, if I was going purely just from the heart, is absolutely Neo Tokyo.
Which is this one right here.
No.
Yeah, I like this kit a lot too. My favorite is just these Ghost in the Shell style, greebles and stuff on these buildings.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous.
So I'll pull apart, just to also show some painting stuff. I'll pull apart some of the paintings that I've been doing for this. If you guys have been seeing, some of the postings I've been doing over the last couple months of just random personal paintings. They've been to test out these kits and to make sure that they have all the pieces that you'd need to make something cool. And in terms of how many models are in a pack, they vary, because there are some packs where like Tokyo has 30 pieces, but they're big pieces, right? So you have 10 skyscrapers, 10 medium buildings, and then 10 city blocks that you can kind of mix around. But something like Art Art Deco might have a lot more because it also has a lot of these like finer details that you can spread around. So we decided to not make it per, like, not to make kits by the amount of pieces, but rather to make kits by all the pieces that we think we would need in that genre. And after testing them for a little bit, I feel like they're pretty even in terms of flexibility and being able to customize your environment in different ways. Chris, this one's my favorite, actually.
Art Deco.
Yeah, Art Deco is.
It's hard to choose, honestly. I mean, they're also different in their variability, and so, I mean, why do you like Art Deco so much in terms of like what you can create with it?
Yeah, I think I like it maybe because I just loved that architectural style to begin with, but I also just like that you can throw a couple of these like giant skyscrapers in there, and it just looks epic right away. It's like you don't really have to do too much to get an epic scale.
And I feel like you can do so many different cities because it's such a widely used architectural style, you know, throughout the 19th or rather 20th century.
Yeah, definitely. And someone was asking like how I use these, and kind of like what I like to do is I'll like grab a couple pieces and pull them aside. Let's say like I want this piece, and maybe let me get like one of these big pieces, and then what I'll do is I'll start to make like a building that's custom using these three pieces. So maybe I'll take this and let's just like flip it, and we can combine it.
The kit is out right now. Just to answer your question, D-Hand. All 4 kits are available on the site right now as we speak, kitbash3d.com. And thank you for the compliments on the website.
If you guys know Oscar Marr, he's just like an awesome designer, and he designed that website, and we're super stoked on it.
Yeah, he did an incredible job.
So yeah, I'll do something like this where I'll start to grab like different pieces of like, okay, I have like the basics of a building, and I want to throw like a cool entrance on there. And you know, I might also like take this whole thing and just duplicate it up a couple times. And I'll do it pretty rough to start with, and then I'll go back in and like start deleting some polys to like build out, you know, make it all connect cleanly. But at first I start pretty rough and like, okay, cool, we're getting some cool shapes with a cool entrance in here, and maybe we want that to kind of have a tower in the center. And I'll build out like 4 or 5 of these custom structures, and then I'll start to plan out like a city layout.
Max, a couple questions for you. A bit off topic, but how destruction friendly are they?
So they are quads, and we tried to we tried to build them in a really clean way. So, you know, for me, I'm not a effects artist, and I haven't done like simulations and stuff like that. But I think that if you needed to cut it up and break it up for destruction, it would be pretty easy to do because of how clean the geometry is.
Sweet.
But that's something I would love to see someone do, and love to like hear feedback on that, because it is something I don't know that much. And if someone out there is trying to do a destroyed stuff, like trying to do a simulation with these models and it's not working, I'd love to hear about it so that we can build that into our models and know how we can do that best.
Yeah, and you guys can hit us up with any of those comments. Either email us at info@kitbash3d.com, or you can post an Instagram post of your specific work with the kit, or if you have any questions, just hit us up on Facebook or email. Are the objects grouped so that it makes sense, quote unquote? For example, that all windows of a building are in one group, and I just have to click once.
Yeah, so the way that they're split up right now is there's materials assigned to them that will carry over with the FBX, so that if you bring this into like Keyshot or something like that, you can just swap out the Windows material or the metal material or the concrete material, and they're all labeled and clean. So if I just like open up the materials in here, you can see that there's like bronze, concrete, stucco, gold, pipes, plastic, steel, windows, and so those all come pre-assigned, so that you can quickly texture it and add shaders and stuff like that.
To add to Marv D's comment, do you also have the models all in their own separate file? I like using the browser in C4D and the thumbnails to quickly select models while keeping my viewport clean. Usually I find Kitbash libraries come with all the models in a single file, which means I have to go through and export each model as a separate file. Becomes a real pain when some of the models have separate components.
Sure, yeah, they are all in one, but what we've done is in the outliner, you can see we've like organized them very well so that if you did want to export just the big buildings or anything like that, it would be pretty quick. And everything's labeled really nicely. But what we didn't want to do is we didn't want to send a zip file that had 100 different files attached to it in all different file formats. So I think this is the cleanest way that kind of hits the middle ground, where if you wanted to kind of export out what pieces you use the most, it's easy to navigate. And if you just wanted to export like the towers, the big buildings, the medium buildings, all as like separate things, it's all grouped up for you to do that. But just from a delivery standpoint of being able to actually get you these kits, I think there's a lot more room for error when you're dealing with 100 different files.
Yeah.
Are there discount codes for starving Learn Squared students? Not yet. We're just launching, so we're gonna hold off a little bit on doing any discounts and coupons and stuff like that. But maybe down the line we'll do some joint promotions.
And Kalria, I'm sorry, I'm butchering that. We're going to be doing about a competition a month on Instagram exclusively, so that the winner will win at least one free kit. So we will make sure that you are notified of that ASAP. And yeah, that's going to be a really fun opportunity for everyone to sort of showcase their specific artwork with Kitbash. You can mash our kits. You can use just one kit. You can do kind of a theme-inspired painting depending on what contest it's going to be. But at least once a month, we're going to be kind of holding a competition with all of our followers and watchers and Max's students and people who are following the tour, which we'll bring up in a moment. So yeah, that's going to be a really fun opportunity, I think, for everybody.
Yeah, on that, one of the things we decided to do, which I think is going to be really cool. So we have kits coming out every single month. Sorry, our Instagram is @kitbash3d. We have kits coming out every single month. So we're launching with 4, but we've planned it out so that we'll have new styles and new genres coming out constantly. And like part of the reason for that, and what I'm hoping that does is, I hope that it spawns some genre ideas. Like, it's when you look at a lot of people's work, a lot of the times it's really easy to get stuck into doing nonstop fantasy work or nonstop sci-fi work. But I feel like if we can use Kitbash to almost set a theme for the month, like how many people have done an old London painting? So when we launch an old London kit, I'm hoping that inspires people to try doing a painting in that genre. And then with that, what we want to do with the competition to really make it like a great prize is if you use like Kitbash models and you do a painting with it and you hashtag Kitbash3D, each month we're going to choose a winner, like a painting that's our favorite painting using any of the kits. And that person is going to get the next kit a week before everyone else. So they'll be the first one. They'll be the first one to get the new kit and get ahead of the curve with the genre. Chris, you want to talk about the tour that we're doing with Learn Squared?
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, and I would love to share the poster. We're going to share that later on social media. But starting tomorrow, we've got a handful of artists who are going to be demoing how they use Kitbash and kind of like their favorite genre and what they like to do with it, and sort of what Maxx is doing right now. But we've got a really sweet handful of artists, starting with Ash Thorpe, who is a founder of Learn Squared, and he is going to be kicking us off tomorrow, followed by two more artists that week, Steve Corman and Jort van Wellenbergen. So that'll be tomorrow, Thursday. Sorry, tomorrow, yes, and Thursday, and then Friday. And then we'll pick back up on the 18th on Monday, the 19th, the 20th, and then the following week after that, the 25th, the 26th, and the 28th. So we've got a handful of people that Maxx has worked with on projects, people that have obviously founded Learn Squared, and we've even got some creature artists. So we're kind of running the gamut on this. And Maxx, what was your thought behind kind of the different types of artists we've got joining us, and also sort of like the caliber of work that they're able to do with these kits?
Yeah, one of the things before we launched this, we really wanted to get it in the hands of some of the artists that I really love, and I wanted to make sure that they approved of the kits, that these were like stuff that they would use professionally. And so we've given these kits ahead of time to these people to be testing with and playing with and making sure that it does everything that they need it to do. And now that we're launched, I think it's a really great opportunity for people to see maybe a different workflow. For the last couple streams, you guys have seen how I use like the Gothic kit and stuff, but I know Nick Hyatt is using it in a completely different way than me, or Ash, who's Cinema 4D and not Maya. That and on top of that, we thought it was a great opportunity to get a couple of artists who aren't normally on the streams. Nick Hyatt hasn't been on a Learn Squared stream yet, and he's going to jump on twice. And I'm super excited for that. If you guys don't know him, he was art director for Star Wars The Force Awakens. He's an amazing map painter. And he's really done some awesome stuff with these kits. So,
yeah.
It's a great opportunity to bring some other people who might not be part of the Learn Squared family yet into the mix. And also just to team up with Learn Squared to kind of bring an excuse to get people on here and playing with things.
Yeah, so that's going to be running for the next 3 weeks, at least 3 days a week. So we're super excited about that. And again, that tour poster, we're going to post that and the dates and each artist who will be performing on the specific date for all you guys. So hop on social media on Facebook. Our page is Kitbash3D. On Instagram, it's at Kitbash3D. And you'll get all the info there. And we've got some sweet questions here. I have to just stop and acknowledge the old Victorian jungle Wookiee theme. That is brilliant. And whatever that looks like, I want to see it. So that's hilarious. That's a suggestion.
That's awesome.
Kind of like, Chewbacca meets Jane Austen. I love that. Thank you, Noisy Boy UK. I hope you, in fact, do. And for future kits, any sci-fi buildings planned? It's funny that you asked that. Maxx, would you like to handle that?
Well, right now we do have Neo Tokyo, which isn't like super like Blade Runner-esque. But what we tried to do is create like a modern city type of thing that could be used in a Ghost in the Shell type of style, or for just like when I was working on the painting for it, um, for me it kind of felt almost like the Matrix, honestly, because it is kind of this generic mega city. Um, let me pull up that painting. So this is the painting, and actually, let me see if I have the render for it as well. Yeah, so here's the render that we have. So it's pretty cool, and I think it's pretty flexible right now for a sci-fi city. But we're going to continue to add different types of sci-fi as we go on. But for now, like, I'm curious to see what people do with these pieces to make it even more sci-fi, even more crazy, and building giant megastructures out of them. And like for instance, one of the things you can do is if you stack a couple of these on top of each other, um, it starts to feel like a mega block. So I'll just grab this, and you can start to just kind of bash these in and create these giant structures. So I think sci-fi wise, I think you'll be happy with this, and I think it actually does give quite a bit of flexibility and the tools to be pretty creative with it. I've been getting lost in this stuff, just like playing with all these kits and just like fucking around and seeing what you can do. It's fun, man. Chris is not a Maya user, but I think I've sold him on trying it out.
Yeah, it's this is my favorite kit after all.
Yes,
do we want to perhaps utter future genres, or let's save that for another time?
Yeah, I feel like I want to. We have a lot of stuff coming out today. Just know we have a lot of other kits in the works right now, and
yeah,
I feel like let's not open all of our presents on at the same time.
I agree. You guys will get spoiled, and you'll probably get cavities, and you won't really appreciate Christmas if we give you everything today. So, at least that's what my parents always said to me. So
Cool. So even something like this is starting to get into this like cool mega structure sci-fi world.
The NQP, I agree. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
What are you agreeing with?
Cavities won't be an issue with the advancement of biomedical tech. Though I doubt that's going to be their first, order of priority. Yeah, I agree. I'm currently unhappy with my terrible vision, so I'm going to be looking to get some LASIK surgery to the max, maybe some new eyeballs.
Oh man, good luck with that one.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Who's Chris Blender?
Oh, wait, Chris Blender is way better. Replying, Blender is way better to Chris.
Oh,
gotcha.
gotcha.
So don't learn Maya, learn Blender.
Okay. Are there any other suggestions? I am taking it upon myself to learn at least one. Teeth are the shittiest part of human biology. Teeth have to come.
I'm going to jump over to Arabic. One of the things I like to do with the Arabic kit is I start out with just throwing a street down, and then I start to just throw buildings on the street and start to build it up that way and kind of work my way from one end of the street to the other. And that kind of gives me just at least a starting point, regardless of where I'm going to put the camera, of like something that's coming together and is cool.
So Max, you can take apart some of our blocks, correct?
Yeah, you definitely can. Some of the kits have a lot of parts split up for you, but other parts, um, like this, if you just wanted to grab the railing, it's pretty easy to isolate this, and then sometimes like I try to use like bigger pieces at first, and then go in and grab other pieces that I want to add to it.
Hmm.
So I mean that's kind of a really good way to be using these kits is,
Yeah.
um, you know, I think if we had given all just tiny parts, it would have been overwhelming to try to build something with it. And the goal with Kit Bash is to get you a basic layout really fast. So we kind of tried to find the balance of small pieces and big pieces, or big pieces that you could take apart and create, create quick pieces for yourself if there was something that you like. So actually, I'll just add a balcony over to here.
In terms of a road street kit, we don't specifically have that quite yet, but like Max just said, if you go through the four right now, we don't have traffic lights or ground cover stuff per se, but there's tons of shops and buildings and blocks of buildings that can be taken apart, and you can get some of those small assets. And
Uh, I will say that we are working on that.
yeah.
That we do have something in the works that will provide that solution.
Yeah. And do we see the kits deviating to other areas aside from architecture, aka large vehicles, maritime space exploration?
We definitely do. Like, yeah, that's something that we've been playing with. But what we're starting with is, maybe it's because I'm biased because I come from an environments world, but I was never able to find great architectural kits that were of a single style or genre, that were like really detailed and built out and stuff like that. So we wanted to start with that and cover our bases, since I do think there's some really great kits for like mechanical parts.
Yeah.
But definitely going into vehicles is something that we've talked about, and something that we're not opposed to.
Yeah, as well as natural environments. I mean, space exploration it would be an incredible one, as well as trees and mountains, and but that's all sort of coming down the pipeline, if you will.
Yeah.
Uh, we have had several actually. Nick Hyatt, who's the art director for The Force Awakens that Max had mentioned, has actually taken, I believe it was our Gothic kit or Art Deco kit into a VR platform, and he's wandered around at least one of the buildings, and I think Max, you've probably done that as well, correct?
I haven't done it yet, but I know Nick was playing with it. I think right now, like eventually, I cannot wait to just be doing all my kit bashing in VR.
Yeah.
I think right now the poly limit in VR is constrains you to low poly only. Um, it's just not there yet, and we didn't want to make game assets. There's a lot of places you can get game assets for, and we really wanted to create things that you could use for final shots. Um, so I think right now these pieces are probably a little too heavy for VR, but we're hoping that VR gets there in terms of what it can handle.
What is our poly count, by the way? 2.1 million, is that correct?
Yeah, so each kit is around 2 million polys for all the pieces. So we spent a lot of time playing with where the limit is, and where the right balance of giving you enough detail but not destroying your machine if you wanted to like kit bash and duplicate things a crap ton of times. So you'll see like most kits are around or most pieces are around the like 30 to 40,000 poly range. Some of them are a little heavier. Um, this one's 86,000, but we've tried to keep everything under 100 so that you can duplicate to your heart's desire and not be crashing computers.
Joe Connell, excellent question. We will. We already are trying to build our community on Instagram, Facebook, ArtStation. We're going to be holding some sort of ArtStation challenge around Christmas time. But for now, please follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and that is where we will launch our first contest to see who can win a kit. And we absolutely encourage the just sort of continual reposting and sharing with and at anything you do with the Kit Bash kit. We want to hear about it and see it. So we'll absolutely be featured on all of our platforms.
And we have a little gallery section. Some of the website stuff we're still working on. Like, we've been crunching to get this done in time, but we wanted to make sure we launched something that was super stable and robust. So there's a couple things that we're missing and still working on right now. But one of them is our gallery section. And right now it's not clickable, but we're going to make it so that you can full screen so you can enjoy these in all their glory. But we're going to keep adding to this. So if you guys do awesome artwork with the Kit Bash models, we'll continually update our gallery to show those and throw your name up there. And we can have that link over to your site and stuff like that. But we really do want to give the opportunity for artists who are using these kits to be able to get seen and do what we can to help share beautiful artwork. Also on that, like, I'm gonna pull up one of Nick's paintings that he did with this, because I'm a big fan of it. So this was one of the concept pieces that Nick did with the Gothic kit. And I'm super stoked. I believe he did the characters in Daz and some Photoshop on top, and then put together the kit in Maya and rendered through V-Ray. But yeah, I think this painting is just super cool.
It's gorgeous. These kits are UV'd, yes, Ramaluk.
Yeah, everything's UV'd and set up for tileable textures. With the only exception to this is Tokyo, which is actually fully textured. But I don't have the textures linked in Maya right now because we've been packaging everything up. But for you, it will be linked. And it comes with all the textures right on there. So, I'll show you just what it looks like straight out of the render.
David Tillen, thanks so much, man. Great to hear from you again. And I love your handle, David Jones. Question for Maxx. Cool. How about if I build libraries myself? Does Kit Bash have its roster of builders, or will it be a way I can upload kits I've made and add them to the store as a partnership?
Cool. So this is one of the things we're doing differently with Kit Bash than like Turbo Squid or any CG Trader or any of those things, is we are not an open marketplace. If you're interested in doing a kit, then you'd have to contact us directly. But basically, all of our kits are very strictly art directed by, if not myself, then another art director in the industry. And we have like basically we want to keep the standards of models really, really high. So we don't want to open it up for anyone to be able to put stuff on there. We're going to curate every single piece that you see, and I'm going to make sure that my eyes are on every single piece that you see, and that they're right and they're to the level that I would use for a professional matte painting. I think there's a lot of places that do have that open marketplace that are great. We want to be a curated premium kit place. And we also want it so that when you get a kit from us, you know that it's going to be good. It's never a question in the back of your mind, because that's honestly one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to start Kit Bash, is because every time I'd buy a model, I looked at pictures and I didn't know if it was going to be good or not. And I didn't know, like half the time it was like, okay, cool, this gives me what I need. and the other half of the time would be like, fuck, this doesn't look anything like the pictures and it's completely broken. So we're really keeping a closed door on it to make sure that we only deliver the best possible kits. And this is a straight out render from Keyshot with all the textures that come default applied to here. So you can see that, that it already comes pre-textured, and also it's pre-textured, but they are tileable maps, so you can swap out building textures and it'll wrap. So you can edit those textures. In terms of software that we use to model these kits, we have a couple different modelers on these right now, and everyone's using different software. For me, I don't care what software someone uses as long as an FBX comes out of it that works well in anything that I plug it into. So a lot of them were modeled in Blender or 3D Studio Max or Maya. The majority of our launch kits were modeled by Josh Cotter at Ironclad, and they're modeled with Blender. Which, by the way, there's a lot of hardcore Blender people out there. I don't know much about Blender other than like people have been mocking it for a long time, and I will say that Josh proved that wrong. I was like, oh, you're using Blender? What the fuck? And then he turned around these like ridiculously gorgeous pieces. So I'm a believer in that software now.
Yeah, that's the one I'm trying, Max.
Yeah, so stoked on these.
Yeah, these are gorgeous.
What do you guys want to see? What can I show you guys? I kind of wanted to show you a bit. Like, you guys have seen Gothic and how I use that to put together castles. If you missed the other streams, they're up on YouTube of kind of building that stuff out. Tokyo, I can open some stuff up for that. But that's kind of how I would create like mega structures. Arabic, like this is kind of just my process with it, as I just start building streets out, and then I might duplicate these streets and start to create some sort of a city grid. And then once I have that city grid, I'd throw some monuments in here and start to build my city that way. And then once I have that, then usually in Keyshot, I'll try to find some cool angles and play with lighting and camera at the same time. So be spinning the sun around and looking for like cool framing opportunities. Something like that could be cool. So much stuff to play with. I'm like the thing I'm most excited about with these kits, Chris, is just to see, like, I really want to see some people do things that we didn't think about.
Like I personally haven't yet seen anybody like use two kits and put them together to create something, 2 or 3 kits. And I would be fascinated to see what that would be like.
Yeah, definitely. Like mixing Neo Tokyo and Arabic to create some sort of like Abu Dhabi-esque like future Aladdin scene. Yeah, or like Gothic and Art Deco to create some like really ornate, 1920s style, I don't know. This is the stuff I really want to see.
Neo Tokyo and Art Deco can make,
Blade Runner.
So Blade Runner, yeah.
Yeah, basically, like that's if you combine those two, you'd really get a Blade Runner type of city.
Yeah.
Especially if you just took these pieces and kept building them up, like kept creating a ton of these mega structures, you'd get like a pretty cool sci-fi scene.
Can you show us the final paintings you've done with each one of these kits?
Yeah, sure. I can pull through the PSDs also.
Yeah, that would be.
Something like that would be awesome. Cool. Let me...
Final Fantasy 15. I like that idea.
I'll pull through Art Deco first since we're on it.
I like some of the surfaces. I like that some of the surfaces seem to have a bit of variation, as in they aren't just totally flat surfaces, unless I saw that wrong robot face with a tongue out.
Wait, say this again? What did you just say?
There's a comment.
Seem to have a bit of variation, as in they are just totally flat surfaces. They aren't just totally flat surfaces. Yeah, definitely. Your robot with the tongue out completely threw me. I thought he had typed that out. I was like, what? Yeah, we really wanted to... Look, the thing with when you're using 3D to quickly get a concept, for me, the most important thing is having those edges to catch the light. And so that's why most of our pieces, like, we didn't want flat surfaces. We wanted to always give something to catch a bit of lighting to it. Like, I know if we threw this into Keyshot right now and just threw a single light on it, it would look awesome. Actually, I will do that.
Why don't you do that for us, Maxwell?
Yeah, I'll do that while the PSD's opening up.
Stephen Corman, welcome. Thank you. Stephen is going to be one of our artists on our tour.
What's up, Steve? I'm stoked to, Steve is way more experienced and better at this 3D stuff than me. He dove in and started embracing it a lot sooner than I did. So I'm excited to see how he uses these kits, because I feel like this is going to be second nature for him.
Yeah, Steve's going to be playing on the 14th, which is a Thursday.
Let's see how many things I can ask my computer to do before it breaks up with me.
Oh, it has it. You've got some leeway. Stephen Corman, which kit do you think you'll be using primarily?
Are we going to get a little betting pool on this?
Ooh, let's throw out some ideas. What's Steve going to use before he answers? My bet is
I say Arabic.
All right, I'm going to go with Neotok. Oh!
Oh, we're both wrong. But Chris is more wrong.
Well.
Rotating them vertically might create some interesting results for sci-fi. Dude, it totally would. Actually, that's what we were playing with our little poster. We were taking these Art Deco buildings and just like rotating them into this kind of Inception style thing. And it was like I thought it was super cool to just to play with that, of just like how can we create something abstract with it. And I think that's going to be something that's going to be awesome to see. Get some people who play with it in a non-literal sense too.
Yeah, absolutely. Question. Hey guys, do you always texture all these 3D objects in Photoshop because it can become very time consuming, or do you have some ninja tips and tricks?
Oh yeah, so we UV'd them and set them up for tileable textures, so you don't have to be painting texture maps. So that's something that I'll pull it in here pretty quickly and kind of show you guys how I work with it. So under materials, you have like all the materials that are already pre-assigned to the model. So what I'll do is I'll just grab like a couple default materials and just slide them right in here. And let's get like architectural, we'll get just a concrete. And let's see, gold. For dark stucco, I'll do just like a, let's just do a darker concrete. And with that, I'll just make it a little darker. And you can, play with the, you can play with these materials a little more. I'm not going to do a bunch of custom materials, but usually I would spend a little bit of time just playing with the actual materials here. And then let me just throw a sky in here. And like right now, some of the materials are a little too big, so I'll just like grab concrete and let's just scale this down. You can set it to UV map too if you want, or box map. Honestly, it doesn't really matter, because sometimes box mapping just gives you a quick, easy result.
Do your modelers utilize shading groups? Question.
Shaders are attached to different parts of geometry. So if that's what you mean, then yes. So something like this, quickly got some texture in here, and then I'll flip around the sky until I get some interesting lighting going on. And then maybe play with the camera a little bit to maybe get a different focal length going on, like a 20. And now we can start to play with framing this up in a cool way. And I mean, even as a design element, I feel like there's enough going on here that makes it cool. And if you wanted to like go straight down the barrel here. So yeah, in terms of texturing, that's what I'll do if I'm working really fast. If I want to take it one step further, I'll actually drop in some tileable textures into these different maps and play a little bit with just the with the wrapping. But they're all UV'd already, so it shouldn't be like, it's not that pain in the ass type of thing. And also with Art Deco, what I'll do is this is the cover image that I made for it, and I can break down just kind of how the painting came together. So this is the raw render, AO, GI, lighting pass, clown pass, reflection pass, and then from there I started to. I think I painted a shit ton of mats for this too, just so I could have some control. Yeah, I did paint a ton of mats to it. Those are just straight from the clown pass, actually. But yeah, then I just kind of broke up these renders into different sections, and I would grab the CG in this section, do a quick comp on top of it, and then start adding some photo textures and atmosphere in. And kind of just build it up this way. So that's the render after I've composited it. Just like throw the AO, throw the GI, throw the reflection, do a little color correction, paint a shit ton of mats, which honestly you don't need to paint mats. I'm just too bad. I'm not good enough at 3D to like just render myself out a normals pass. And I'm pretty fast on a Cintiq, so that's just kind of how I do it. And then I just started going by materials and layering this stuff up, and adding textures. And I'll zoom in here so you can kind of see these textures popping in. So just adding like different areas and getting them in perspective and a little more like grunge and texture to the whole thing. And then just an overall color correction. So that's kind of how I take it from render to like photoed up. Adding some roads. You can see how like crappy my roads look with all the different photos that are just bashed together in there, but they all get hidden up anyways. Fix up that gold a bit, make it into a little more of a bronze, add some atmosphere, and kind of just keep going through. Sometimes I'll just like full on swap out a building. So like this building on the right is just completely photo textures. But I think I did a good amount of work to get that working. Yeah, so I have this photo and just wanted something there. Painted out all that top ventilation and satellites and just started to composite it in. And here I kind of used like this combination of like having a render and then adding like photo textures to all the windows so that you can get like that breakup and different, shades and stuff like that. Getting different brick textures in there. And then after I got all that stuff in, then I just did my like final color corrections. What I really wanted to do here was bring your eye to the bridge. My idea for a lot of these paintings is I don't want to create a character or a subject. Instead, because these are for Kit Bash, what I wanted to do is I wanted to inspire your creativity for what kind of world and characters you would want to see in here. So by what I did with that is I created like a stage for where you'd want to see a character or a motorcycle or something like that, and then let everything bring your eye to that stage. Yeah. And then from there kind of escape and wander and come right back. So anyways, that's the final painting and how it came together. John O'Connell, oh my god, that's hilarious. Take it to the bridge. Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's 10:53. We'll probably wrap up here in the next like 5 minutes, but I think really what Chris and I wanted to do is kind of just show off what we're doing and get to share today with you guys, because we've been working on this for months, and today's a super exciting day that we finally get to like put it out there and let everyone have access to it. And yeah. we wanted to be here with you while that happened.
Yeah, so if you have any more questions, I think we should share our other video with everybody while we...
Good call. So we got some awesome guys, and we made another video, and I'll play that for you guys now.
Kit Bash 3D is a fantastic resource for concept painters, map painters, any environment artists, or any visual effects artists.
Kit Bash 3D is a fantastic resource for concept painters,
for
any environment artists,
to be able to use 3D but jump into painting quicker.
This tool is meant for matte painters, illustrators, concept designers to speed up everything you do from ideation to creation. It's almost part of my daily routine at this point.
If you can make your scene in half the time, well, you can spend more time painting, right?
Kit Bash 3D will work with any 3D package that you're using. Maya, ZBrush, 3D Studio Max, Modo, eShot, all quads, clean models, mid-poly counts, UV everything, and set it up for tileable textures. So you can grab a piece, throw a brick texture on it, and it's going to wrap around that perfectly. I think just by using it, you start to get a lot of momentum.
Real time while you're building and while you're moving your pieces around, you can, oh, this is a new angle, try this, try that.
The environment is very much a breathing, living character on its own, as it is the creatures that I create.
So being able to move these things in 3D really fast is a great asset.
If you stick with just 2D, you're limiting yourself so much.
It's so fast to do it in 3D that it saved me a huge chunk of time at the very beginning. It would be a game changer for me if I had access to Kitbash 3D products when I first started.
I think if you dive into Kitbash, you're going to build a great portfolio really quick.
It all depends on your creativity and how far you want to push it.
In general, time is our only currency, and we're getting less and less of it.
If you're not using all the tools that you could do the job in half the time, well, your competition will.
So yeah, that's we're going to be making a lot more videos, and one of the things that we want to do is we want to get a bunch of different artists and spotlight them and feature them and bring as much like education, inspiration, motivation, all of that to you, since now we have a platform to do that. And that's one of the reasons why we're teaming up with Learn Squared, because we think that they stand for that too, just like being a source of motivation and just inspiration. And so we're going to be creating a ton of videos and artwork and constantly sharing things with you guys. And I hope that you guys like what we're doing and support it, because we would like to just keep making awesome kits and seeing what you guys do with it. Chris, anything you want to add before we wrap up the stream?
Yeah, I want to add on to what you just said. We're honestly looking to be a resource for you guys, and our goal is to build a community in which we can create really cool stuff, and more importantly, give you guys the tools to create really cool stuff. So again, please share anything you make. If you get a kit, share anything you make with it. We'd love to see it. If you have feedback, we'd love to hear that as well. info@kitbash3d.com, and yeah, check out the store. We are live today, and the tour is going to kick off, starting with Ash Thorpe, like I said, tomorrow. So,
and if you create any paintings with Kitbash, just hashtag it #Kitbash3D, and at the end of the month, we'll choose our favorite painting, and you'll get the next kit free and before anyone else. So, hopefully that gives a little bit of incentive to create some cool artwork.
Yeah, and like we said earlier, we're going to be putting out a new kit every month, at least one new kit every month. So, yeah, keep that in mind. That will be an ever-expanding library of whatever you imagine. So,
awesome, sweet guys. Well, thank you so much for jumping on the stream with me, for checking all this stuff out, and for just like continually being an awesome group of people and all of the support that you guys always give. So with that, have an awesome Tuesday.
Yeah, thank you guys. You guys are really fun. Take care. Enjoy your day.